Okay, so now that we've done some practice with work and direction, we're going to see if we can figure out if work is positive or negative in each of these examples. So for our first example, we have a car driving along and the road is exerting a friction force on the car as it comes skidding to a stop. So we'll kind of draw ourselves a little picture here just to make sure we know what's going on. So here's our car. Doing the best I can. All right, there's a car, and let's say that it's moving this way, so we know that our change in position is going to also be in that direction. Okay, and then we need to think about what direction the force is going to be, or the friction force. So think for a minute, what direction would the friction force be pointing, to the left or to the right? Okay, so since we're skidding to a stop and friction always resists motion, our force is going to be to the left. So now we see that our force and our change in position are pointing in opposite directions. So does that mean that our work is going to be positive or negative? The work done by friction, is that positive or negative? So since the force and the change in position are in opposite directions, this one, we're going to have negative work for this one. Okay, good. So now next example, we have a rope lifting a bucket up from the bottom of a well. So again, I'm just going to kind of draw a little simple picture to help keep myself, help me figure out what's going on. So there's my bucket and there's the rope. We are lifting the bucket up. So that kind of tells us right there that our change in position, so we're lifting it up. So it is moving up. So our delta X is going to be up. And we need to think about, well, which direction is the rope actually pulling? Well, yeah, okay, so we're pulling up. That's, this is kind of a really simple example when you think about it, but our force from the rope is also pointing up. So since our change in position and our force are in the same direction, are we going to have a positive or negative work? So since they're the same direction, work is positive. So I'll draw a little plus sign for this one. Okay, last example, we have a little guy parachuting. So air exerts friction on a parachute as the parachutist falls to earth. So let's draw a little picture here. A little stick man or stick woman, I guess. Stick person like that. And they've got some little strings coming up to their parachute. And there's the parachute. Okay, so we know the person is falling down. So we could say that their change in position is going to be down. So their delta X is down. And it also says that we have friction. So you need to think about friction. Is friction going to be resisting that motion to pointing up, or is it going to be working with it and pointing down? Friction is always resisting motion. So we know that in this case, our force, friction, is going to be pointing up. So change in position is down, force is up. Does that mean our work is going to be positive or negative? So just like in our first example, since the change in position and the force are opposite in direction, that means that the work done is going to be negative. So that's a pretty easy example there. Just kind of look at if they're going the same direction. If the delta X and F are same direction, you got positive. If they're in opposite directions, it's negative.